Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'll be reviewing the Kanami Hoshino, the latest generation from Kanami. This pad comes at $110. The sizing is 490 by 420 with a 3mm thickness, and that's including the base. The glass itself is 1.5mm and it's very clear. It is marketed as more of a refined surface from their older ones, leaning towards speed and having more stopping power. The pre-order shipping for this pad is Q1 of 2026, and let's break into. So coming into the texture, it's a very smooth pad. It is very similar to the old Kanami pads, which are known for being very smooth and pretty fast. I would say it does have a little bit more micro texture than the past mouse pads that they've released, which is a good thing in my opinion. I think a nice little bit of more extra micro texture allows for more control and more stopping power. So when it comes to this texture on this, there isn't much skate feel, just a little bit. I am using cyclones here, but I will also be having we have cyclones again, we have jade airs, and then we also have magic ice, so I will be using those for the different speed tests. When it comes to texture, I feel a little bit more texture when it comes to the jade airs. All of these skates are pretty fresh, so I wanted to make sure that you guys get a better experience. The magic ices do have more texture, so I would say the cyclones have the least, the jade airs have a bit more in the middle, and then the magic ices have the most texture feel. Coming into speed, we're going to start off with the Cyclone Pros, of course. This pad is quite quick. I will be doing comparisons here towards the end, but it does have quite a good speed to it. It's definitely not controlled. I would say it's just on the edge of the speed category. I wouldn't say it's anything like phantom speed, but it is surpassing the balanced pad category. So I would put it right at the edge of the speed pads. When it comes to stopping power, you don't have too much. I would say it's way better than the old Kanami pads. You have that extra little bit texture feel, the micro etching. It still is one of the pads that's a little bit more on the smooth, fast side, so you're not going to have as much control as something like a Phantom that has a ton of texture and a lot of stopping power along with the pushing. So you're going to be experiencing some maybe issues on attack FPS if you want to have really precise micro adjustments. But for an everyday user, and especially for people who enjoy tracking games, I think this is a perfect mouse pad for that. Is you have a smooth feel, you have nothing interrupting you. It's fast, so you can keep on your target, and honestly, I think it's great for that kind of category. I struggled a bit in TAC FPS, I won't lie with you. On TAC FPS, there was some issues with me and trying to do some micro adjustments, especially long range on a head, like just trying to tap it. I struggled a lot sometimes just because I would overflick just a little bit, just because I didn't have any texture to dig into. That when it comes to those tracking scenarios and just following people, it's been great. Like, it's been an amazing pad. I love smooth speed pads when it comes to tracking. It's just the best of the bunch. And yeah, I would say that's kind of my thoughts when it comes to the speed. I think the texture is very smooth. It does have a bit more than the past one, but when it comes to speed, it is on the speed category. I did want to cover a little segment on the artwork. It may look a little bit similar to you because it is made by that same artist, 58, who made the Kanami Monami. I think that this artwork is great. I really love how well the purple stands out, especially on the right side over here. And then the more lighter cyans and a little bit green stand out really well. I do favor this over to Monami design-wise. I think it's great. Breaking into the base, this pad has the same silicone base that they've been using for a while now. You're not going to have any issues with this base moving around. I mean, I'm putting hard pressure into it. It's not going to move, at least during normal play. I don't think you'll have any issues with it. I did want to cover it. These is more of a square pad. Some companies have been going for more of like a circular edge. This is more of a square edge. And yeah, the edges are great as well. So the last thing I want to do before we get into comparisons is skates. So I did show you the speed before. I did want to show you the difference between different skates. So that's the Cyclones. This has this little dust on it. This has more of a I wouldn't say slippery, but it glides longer. Like, it has more of a longer initial friction, whereas the Cyclones are a bit more controlled. They stop a little bit quicker. I would say magic ices are kind of in the middle. They stop a little bit faster than the jade airs, but they're not as fast stopping as like the Cyclones. So yeah, speed wise, the jade airs out of the three I think is the fastest. The Cyclones for me have always felt the best when it comes to these types of mouse pads, just because they're already pretty quick and you don't have much control. I feel like a control or balanced skate would be your best bet. So for the first pad I wanted to compare is to Demon's Oath. I kind of chose three pads at random because honestly the closest thing to compare this pad to is the other Kanami pads. So I try to choose some pads that are more common or more like, current, that aren't sold out and you can't get. So the first one's the Demon, of course. When it comes to texture, I would say the Kanami is a little bit more or less textured. I would say 15 to 20%. When it comes to the Demon's Oath, it has more texture, but the skin stick is a lot worse on the Demon's Oath. I would say the Kanami is one of the best at doing skin stick. It has a little bit, but like it's minuscule in comparison to some of the other pads I've tested. I would say you can use this pad without a sleeve, but I assume over long-term use, from what I've tested, like just using it for like 6 hours, I still get a lot of skin stick, and that's with most glass pads. So I would recommend a sleeve overall, but it's up to you. A sleeve does make your arm go a little bit faster, so you may not like that. When it comes to speed, I would say a Hoshino is a little bit faster. The difference isn't huge or anything, but I would say it's maybe 10% faster. Obviously that smoother texture obviously gives you a faster glide as well. And that's kind of my thoughts when it comes to the comparison between the two. All right, for the next comparison, I wanted to grab the SP04. Obviously it's the most common glass pad. I just went with this one just because it's pretty. When it comes to thickness, obviously the Wallhack is a bit thicker. It is more outdated, as you know. When it comes to skin stick, I definitely would argue that the Wallhack is a lot worse. I feel like I can't use this pad without a sleeve personally. This I feel like I can. When it comes to texture, this feels a little bit more textured. I would say it's maybe 10%, maybe 15%. It is definitely noticeable. On skate feel, I would argue this is hugely different. Like I can feel a ton of grains of texture, whereas this I feel a lot less. When it comes to speed, I would argue that they're pretty close. I would say that the Wallhack's a little bit slower. I still think that this takes the cake just by 5 to 10%, and I think that the Wallhack's pretty on par with the Demon's Oath. When it comes to everything else, if I had to choose between the pads, I'm gonna go the Hoshino, but obviously the SP04 is outdated. Those are my thoughts when it comes to these two, and let's break into the last. Okay, for the last comparison, we have the Monami versus the Hoshino, both by Kanami, of course. This is also the same surface as the Side 2. I just want to note that that is their most recent release besides the Hoshino. So a few things to note that I just thought were cool. First, they moved the Kanami text to the top right corner, which I do think is a better choice. I assume the number will be up here. This is a review unit, so I don't know if it's going to be up here or in another corner. The current Monami is on the top left. I'm sorry, you can't see it. So when it comes to thickness, they're about the same. I would say the Monami is a little bit taller. It's maybe like 0.1 millimeter or something. I don't know the exact measurement. Maybe 0.2. When it comes to texture, I would say they have improved. This is a lot smoother. I mean, this has it's not an insane difference, but I would say it's a good 5 to 10%. This is like ultra smooth, whereas this has a tiny bit of more texture, which I think is a great addition. I think it is the best thing Konami's done in a few generations of their pads. I think it allows for more stopping power and a bit more control, which is what they needed. I felt like this pad, or I felt like the Monami, I couldn't use at all on TAC FPS. It was completely too slippery for me. I think this is a great addition, and it is not a huge difference, but it has made it a lot more enjoyable when it comes to using these pads in TAC FPS. When it comes to speed, I apologize for not doing full comparisons with like the drop test. It's just, it's been damaging some mouses, so I'm gonna have to rethink my comparison. But going off just a dynamic and initial, I would say that the Hoshino is like 10% faster. I think they did improve the speed a bit. I think that both these pads are great, but if I had to choose, I would go with the Hoshino because I mostly played TAC FPS, and I feel like that's better for my aim, is having that little extra control. And I apologize for the yapping. Let's break into the final conclusion. Unfortunately, my audio corrupted, so I'll be voicing over this. So for my final conclusion for the Hoshino, this is a great pad. It's been a lot of fun to use. I think that it is perfect for smooth tracking and long tracking type of games. The smoothness plus the speed just has a great combo. When it comes to TAC FPS, I did struggle a little bit in my micro adjustments. I think it's something you can work with and you can learn, and you can improve your overall mouse control while using it. Personally, I just prefer a bit more texture when it comes to more TAC FPS. I think it's still a fantastic pad. It has great sizing. I love 490 by 420. It's the best size by far. It feels good. I don't have any issues with the edges are good. I love the design, and those are kind of my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoy listening, and also the skin stick's great.